Best Trading presents How to Trade Early Premarket using Webull. Here is your host, Jeff Glass. Well, hi there. Yes, he's here, but he is getting ready to trade. Oh, he didn't tell me you were coming. Come on in. He is over at his trading desk. I am sure he would love for you to join him.
Hey everybody. Well, as you can see on the screen, I've got an elongated two-chart thing going on. On the left side over here is Webull, and on the right side right here is thinkorswim. And I've got this blue chart is a 1-minute chart, and this chart here is a 2-minute chart, and they're both the same stock. And over here on Webull, this is a 15-second chart, and it's also the same stock. So I wanted to show you today how I make trades in the early morning using Webull, but I also use thinkorswim, even though you can't trade on thinkorswim in the real early morning hours. The market opens at 4 a.m. and you can trade on Webull starting at 4 a.m., but you can't trade on thinkorswim until 7. So a lot of times there'll be a stock that starts to go up before 7 o'clock. And if you use Webull, you can trade those stocks. But I really like my indicators and my chart setup on thinkorswim. I learned how to read it. So I use thinkorswim in the early morning hours just to look at the charts. And then when I'm ready to make a trade, I just go over to Webull and make the trade. But I also have a chart of the stock at the same time because, and I like to use either a 30-second or a 15-second, because on the smaller time frames, as you can see right here, you can see the dips. There's a rise here, a dip, a rise here, a dip, and then there's the top. But see, look over here on the 2-minute chart, you can't really see those dips. And the 1-minute chart, the dip is missing at the top. See, there's one dip and then it just goes right on up. Well, the dips are important because the dips tell you where to buy. Let me enlarge that for you and see if we can't. Come on, there we go. That's pretty good. Make that a little better here. So this is the 1-minute chart on thinkorswim. This is a 15-second chart over here. So as you can see, before you use Webull, you have to really do a lot of going through all their, settings and things so you can set up how you want it to be. And then you have to save those settings. You have to save the chart, give it a name and save it. And all the settings, even on your, even in this column here, like right here, you have to make these settings. In other words, these things down here, they won't be there unless you say you want them there. And so you have to set this all up, and I'm not going to go into that right now. I think you can probably find other videos that'll help you do that. And partly because I haven't done that in such a long time, it would take me forever to go through there and figure it all out again. But I have mine set up a certain way, and this is how I like to have it. So I want to point out that you're looking at the chart and then you decide to make a trade. So you come over to Webull to make a trade, because I'm looking at this chart with my arrows and things. So I've got the trading ladder here, which is, what a lot of trading platforms use. They have a trading ladder. And so you can use that, or you can switch right up here. It says trade. And so you can do that. And it's a little different. It's more like a trade order that you enter the order. How many shares you're going to buy, what price do you want to buy it at, and then you click, send the order. And a lot of times for a pre-market, that's a much better thing than the trading ladder, because they can be spread out so much. But on Webull, right there is the current trade. See, $1.22. It's a different color. So that's pretty much all I pay attention to on the Webull trading ladder. because, that thing is going up and going down constantly. But if I can just keep the current trade right in the middle, that's all I really am interested in. And when I'm ready to trade, well, I'm going to click right on that current trade, because when I'm ready to trade, I want to trade it right then at that price. So if that's the current trade, then I'm just going to click buy over here on the left side right there in the green. I'll set my I'll set my number of shares up here. It says 300 up there. And then I'll click it right here and trade it. So now this one, a lot of times on Webull, what I'm trying to do on early morning trades is this. You don't want to trade at 4 a.m. There's not really anything you can do right at 4 a.m. because that's when the market opens, and there's no trades being made yet. So you can be ready to trade at 4 a.m., have everything set up, and 4 a.m. will come along and boom, it's 4 a.m. Nothing's happening. Why is that? Well, it's going to take about 10 minutes, maybe even 15 minutes before you'll start seeing any stocks on your scanner, because there's simply no volume happening unless something happened the previous day, and a lot of people are just jumping in on a stock that went up the previous day. And there might be a lot of people jump in at 4 o'clock, cause the stock to go up. And but you have to watch the volume that early in the morning. And so you really don't want to trade something that has 10,000 shares, 30,000 shares. That's it. It's not enough trading going on to keep the momentum going. And, for day trading, you need momentum. So you want to just, at 4 o'clock, I'm only interested in seeing what shows up and what is going up. Because guess what? It always goes back down. At 4 o'clock, somebody gets anxious. They get in a hurry. They go crazy. They make it go up. Boom, it's going way up. And if you'll just wait, it will go back down. And then here's the thing. Like I said, you can trade at 7 a.m. on thinkorswim. But sometimes, in fact, a lot of times, stocks go up at 4, they go back down, and then they will start going up again. And they'll start going up at 5:30 or 6 or 6:30, an hour or half an hour before 7. And it's 7 o'clock when thinkorswim is open for trading. There'll be a lot of people coming online at that time. They'll see that stock is going up, and they'll jump right in the momentum, and the momentum will pick right up immediately. There'll be millions of shares sometimes trading at 7 o'clock in the morning. And so with Webull, that will help you choose some stocks and buy them at 5:30, 6 or 6:30 before the 7 o'clock hour on thinkorswim. So that's what I try to do, and buy them early before it goes up at 7. And then when it starts going up at 7, if I wanted to, I could buy it on thinkorswim as well. So I could double my trade. Depends on how much money you have to work with in each account, and that way you can make twice as much money. Or you'll make more on Webull because you started earlier, so you started at a lower price. So that's how I use Webull and how I use thinkorswim in tandem, just like you see here, because thinkorswim will be on my right monitor and Webull will be on my left monitor. So I use it just as you see here. And I want you to notice that you see I did make a trade on this stock. I started buying it a little too early. See, I bought right there, and then right there, and then right there, and then right there, and right there. And here's the bottom. So even after I bought 5 times, it still went down a little bit lower. But you see, I was looking at this rise right here. Here it is on the 15-second chart. So it looks like it's going a lot higher. Don't let that fool you. 15-second charts are going to look like they're real high, but you have to remember that this whole thing right here is only 33, and then $1.30, $3, $13, $23. So that's 40 or 50 cents right here. And so don't let that fool you. It's not like $3 or something. So, and that's another reason why I have the thinkorswim over here at 1 minute. This is a 1 minute chart, like I said. And this green one over here is a 2 minute chart. but we won't even look at that for now. This is enough to grasp the concept. So you can see I made 5 purchases. I bought a total of 500 shares, and these are the green. These are my buy points. And then over here, when it went up at this is before 8 o'clock. So yeah, it rises before 8. 8 is about where the top is up here. And so I sold it right there. I'm going to enlarge this so you can actually see that's what I've done. Make that real clear. So see, here you go. Here's my purchases all the way down. And then I just waited until it went up and sold it 500 shares. Sold it at $1.23. And here's what I made on that trade right here, $134.38. So you see, I'm using my thinkorswim, and I made the trade on thinkorswim. This was so the 7 o'clock hour on thinkorswim is right here in the middle of all these green buy points. So I didn't start buying it till after 7. And, I could have bought it on Webull. I didn't. This might have been just a stock that I picked and made these images to show you how I use Webull. So I'm going to reduce that some so we can see it. Okay. Now, Webull does the same thing that thinkorswim does. When you buy a stock on Webull, it puts up a little green bar where you bought it, just like it does on thinkorswim over here. It'll have a little green bar right there with your price. And the same thing when you sell it, it will have the red bar the same way. When you sell it, put a red bar up there. And, you can place an order in advance if you bought something and then you said, well, when it goes up 40 or 50 cents, then I want to sell it. And in fact, I think I'll just place an order to sell when it reaches that level, because that's my goal, right? So you can place an order in advance, and it'll show up here with a little button that says that's your sell order. And of course, you can always cancel it and wait for it to go higher when you get to that point if you want to. But that is how I trade early morning hours using Webull. I trade in tandem using both Webull and thinkorswim because I like my charts on thinkorswim. I like my indicators. As you can see, I like my arrows. And but then I just trade over here if it's between 4 and 7. Now, like I said, I don't really like buying anything at 4 or even 5. I'd probably prefer to wait till 5:30 or 6. So 2 hours after the 4 a.m. session starts, that's when I'd be looking to make a trade, because I not only want to look for stocks that are going up, I want there to be some volume there, because guess what? When you sell it, you've got to sell it to somebody. There has to be somebody there who will buy it. So you need a lot of volume. So that's how I do it. And you can open up an account at Webull.com. They have 2 different trading platforms. One is, you don't have to download it. It's a browser platform, and the other one you can download it. I always like to use the downloaded version because it usually comes with a lot more of everything, just like thinkorswim. It comes with a lot more indicators, a lot more features, and so I like to take advantage of all that. I wanted to show you another screen, and before there was a chart over here on the left side, but now there's just this watch list. If you see right here, there's the word chart right there. So, that's where the chart was. But this isn't a live showing of Webull. These are just images that I've copied and showing you from images. So, but I do have this watch list here. And this is a watch list. It's not a scanner, because I really like my scanner on thinkorswim, which goes down to stocks that are 10 cents to $2. And then I have another scanner that's $2 to $10. And I found that Webull doesn't cover the really cheap stocks that much in pre-market. So I like to use the thinkorswim. So I have to type these in to the watch list. And you see right here, it says add symbol. So you click that and you have to type in the stocks that you're looking at, so you can have them up here on this list. But I wanted to show you, I'm going to zoom in on that. So I have these columns in this area over here for pre-market. So I have the symbols, and then pre-market after hours. It has both the percentage and the dollar amount. And I think this is actually the price, not the gain, but the current price. And then with Webull, you can get this column here, free float. Now that's very important. They don't have it on thinkorswim. So this is really handy to have that free float. And you can see by this little blue arrow right there that I have this column in order of the smallest free float at the top and the largest at the bottom. Now, why is that? Well, because I'm trading in early pre-market and you need a lot of shares to trade that. And the stocks most likely to have a lot of shares are going to be the ones with the smallest free float. Now, that means free float means the number of shares that are currently available for trading. Okay. So the smaller that number is, and the higher the volume of trading is, the more active that's going to be. I mean, the more volatile. It's going to move up, it's going to move down quite faster, and maybe go farther, by 20 cents, 30 cents, 40 cents instead of by 2 cents. And because if you have a lot of stocks like down here, 362 million that can be traded, it's just going to move a lot slower on the trading. And so the next column I have is the average volume. So that's really handy because this is a 3-month average volume. So I can tell on my thinkorswim has the volume. The current volume. So I can tell how the current volume in pre-market compares to the average 3-month volume for that stock. So a lot of times I can see, it's above the 3-month average, or it's equal to the 3-month average, and it's going up. So that's really good. So that might be a stock that I want to trade. Whereas if I see a stock that's going up a little bit, but I see that it's way below the 3-month average volume, I might say, well, it's going up, but there's just not enough volume there to keep that momentum up. So I don't want to trade it because I'll get stuck with it and I can't sell it. So, just because the stock is going up doesn't mean it's a good idea to buy it. There just needs to be a lot of volume. So, at the 7 o'clock hour on thinkorswim, a lot more people are coming in and joining the trading. So there's no problem at that hour. But between 4 and 7, the volume might be a little thin, unless, of course, the stock is really moving and it has a low free float and you're close to the 3-month average volume or way above it. So that's what I look for when trading Webull in the early morning hours. So I hope this helped, and happy trading.
Be sure to click on the logo to subscribe to Best Trading, then click on one of our other videos. Thank you for watching and happy trading.